Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of One Piece, which is on episode 826. Now, this episode right here was actually pretty cool, not too bad. Although, as always, pacing is always going to be a certain issue for everybody in general. So, if anything else, but not to mention, it introduces an early character to come later, and we get to get a glimpse of his power. So, if anything else, let's go. The first half of the episode is just like Luffy and Sanji talking to each other for a bit, while Chopper and Nami is trying to look for Luffy and Sanji, and they do find them at a certain location of a mirror shard because of like Nami's many episodes back with Nami like having a mirror shard that broke into pieces and went onto King Bomb, and I think it might have fell off of him eventually, and it's right where Luffy and Sanji is at, and we have to it that that they're happy to hear Luffy and Sanji together, and Luffy explains that Sanji will only come back once he saves his family and so forth. And they go like, okay, let's do it. And of course, like Nami does have a comedic moment with Sanji, etc., and says, Sanji, for actually terrifying me from the bottom of my heart, I will never forgive you. But I'm going to get past that. But you know what? Knowing that I hear about this, no matter what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to bring you back to the crew. You understand me? Etc., etc., etc. And we have to it that Luffy wants to save Sanji's family, especially Reiju herself as well, because she saved Luffy earlier. And we have to it that there's only 10 people. Well, Jinbei does include Brule and that freaking Choo-Choo guy whatsoever. While there is Luffy, Sanji, Nami, Chopper, Pedro, Brook, Carrot, and did I say Pedro or Nami? I don't know. But there's about 8 people with them, etc., along with like 2 other members, which they go like don't count us in. But we have to it that after the halfway point, we get to know the third son, which is called Charlotte Daifuku, and we get to know he actually has a power to summon something that allowed him to open the gate, apparently. And we get a glimpse of that, which is really, really scary. I'm really surprised like Toei is actually like showcasing these characters early, especially one's power, just like Charlotte Daifuku, which he was introduced. He wasn't like possibly like mentioned until like in the later chapters, but I guess mentioning him now, I guess it's no big deal, but what's to come or how strong he is, but whatever the case may be, we don't know. But aside from that, we have to it that there's only 5 hours left to the tea party. And we have to it that Jinbei decides to ask Luffy, do you know of a guy named Capone Gang Bege or something? And Luffy says, yeah, that's the guy who kidnapped my friend or took Sanji away. And Jinbei decides to like plan all this out, but also tell Luffy about the history about Capone Bege. Because like we get to know about him that he used to be a hitman and eventually rose to fame. Like, he started off as maybe a hitman or nobody, and eventually he ends up killing the bosses and made a family of his own or his own gang eventually, and he ends up rising to the top, and later in the future when he hits someone, he'll get hit back. But apparently he has this impregnable like 10-ton fortress or whatever you want to call it that he has, or unbreakable defense that they won't be able to kill him. Eventually, Capone does get bored into one land after killing all the bosses and causing chaos, and he ends up going after pirate crews. And later on, ends up rising to fame and continue doing his work by killing people, murdering, and stealing their goods, their money, etc., etc., etc. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm getting at here. And eventually, we have to it that he ends up going under Big Mom's flag and ends up having to give him the title Rook eventually and becomes charged of security. He went under Big Mom's flag so he could do whatever he wants and it's a safe haven for him, etc. And we have to it that we get to know that Jinbei also told Luffy that Capone did like shoot Peckham's to his death to the sharks and sea because he could shut him up for good so he doesn't snitch Capone Gang Bege out or something. So eventually we also see to it that Luffy was really shocked about this and he's really mad. But also, Jinbei also tells Luffy, how about we join Capone and Bege, because you want to save Sanji's family and you don't like Big Mom or what she's done. So, we're pretty much outnumbered, but with the help of Capone and Bege, I think he can really help us out by taking down Big Mom. Even like Luffy was really reluctant to do so, but it ends up showing later that in a few hours he's having a meeting with Capone and Bege, etc. Preview of next episode will show like they're gonna have a meeting together with the title called Luffy versus Fire Tank Pirates whatsoever. But we'll have to see from here on out. So pretty much this episode of One Piece pretty much sums up where like what Capone is exactly and how he rose to fame as a hitman or nobody eventually and becomes a freaking OG in a certain sense, or original gangster if you want to call him. And Capone is actually one of the kind of cool characters in the series of One Piece, because I mean I don't see a lot of bad horrible history about him, but for him to like rise up to fame eventually and just killing people and then doing that to pirates too, going on to Big Mom, and he's planning to kill Big Mom, but he might need some help, which is why Jinbei asked Luffy, how about we join up with the Fire Tank Pirates or something, or Capone Gang Bege, because you want to save Sanji's family. He's like one of our key points to try to like make things work. So yeah, don't know what's going to happen next, but it's going to be cool. Not to mention, I forgot to say this, I just saw the new version of the opening of One Piece in this new episode. It's pretty slick. Very, very slick. Looking forward to it. So until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm out for Zoro, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot.